Hello and welcome to another Wilderness Tamed video. Not a gardening one, not even a scythe in sight. In this one we're following my other passion, which is herpetology, the study of reptiles and amphibians. I'm going to look at various ways of surveying for reptiles, or at least getting close to them so we can photograph and film them without causing too much disturbance. So on this nice bracken covered hillside I've got a few corrugated tins put out, and this is a way of helping people find reptiles for ecology surveys. Just makes life easier for the surveyor, and you're also providing the reptiles themselves with somewhere secure to shelter underneath, forage for food and warm up. Obviously the materials you use are things like carpet felts, rubber matting, corrugated tin or similar materials that are going to warm up and provide the reptiles with a nice warm shelter. You're allowing them to thermoregulate without exposing themselves outside and being prone to being preyed on. So as you can see, I'm approaching very, very slowly. I'm scanning with the binoculars on and around the corrugated tins first, and then I'm approaching with a view to having a cheeky tin tip and a look underneath to see if we've got anything. Things you've got to bear in mind are wind direction. You want your scent blown away from where you're looking. You don't want to be causing vibrations through the ground, so you're walking very slowly. Don't want to be waving your arms around. You don't want to wear bright clothing. You don't want to be applying heavy colognes or scents before you go out looking for reptiles. So here's a corrugated sheet. This is onduline. It's a sort of rubberized material used for shed roofs and things like that. Got a good mat of vegetation underneath it, and again that allows the animals to either sit on top of the vegetation right underneath the refugia, so they can warm up directly against it. It's nice and warm to the touch there, but they can also drop down into the vegetation underneath the refugia, the tin, to cool down a bit if it gets too hot. There's no point in putting these things on top of bare earth or having them in the same place so long that all the vegetation underneath just rots away. Check tin number 1. Go off to check tin number 2. So here in the UK we're expecting, well, in the northeast of the UK we're expecting to find 3 reptiles. Slowworm, our native legless lizard, very, very friendly, docile little animal, very good to have in a garden situation. The common or viviparous lizard, quite gregarious little animals, you often find them in groups. And if you're really lucky, you might find an adder. Now obviously you've got to be careful in an area where you think there might be adders, Vipera berus, our only native venomous snake. And you probably want to be wearing gloves or using a stick or a hook of some kind to lift up any refugia that you've put out. These are fascinating animals and so misunderstood. You know, the last recorded death from an adder bite in a human was over 40 years ago. This video was shot in 2018. And yet people still club them to death because they see them as a threat. There were over 1,000 children bitten and attacked by dogs in 2017 alone. Yet nobody goes round clubbing dogs to death, and they are far more of a threat to people than snakes are. So, you know, there's got to be a balance, but there's just so much ignorance about reptiles generally. It's phenomenal how many people have no idea that there are native reptiles to the UK. They don't know anything about them. It's quite staggering. I mean, Spring Watch, Autumn Watch, Country File, David Attenborough, have these people all wasted their time broadcasting informative nature programs? I mean, they don't do a lot for reptiles, but there is some coverage. Snakes don't attack people, they defend themselves against fools. Certain people who get bitten, well, they're emulating certain TV herpetologists who used to pull snakes out from their hiding places and dangle them in front of the cameras because apparently that was good TV. Well, I'm sorry, but you might be appealing to the 11-year-olds in everybody, but for an adult audience, it's just plain ignorance, and it's totally disrespectful to the reptiles themselves. They're very sensitive, very delicate creatures, and the last thing they want is to be molested by some buffoon and thrust in front of a camera. Just do what I do, photograph them from a distance, where they go about their daily lives, totally undisturbed. That's all they want, that's all anybody wants out of life, is to go about their day-to-day tasks without the hassle of some idiot. There's only one type of person kills snakes, and that's uneducated cowards. Might be a controversial thing to say, but like I care. No stranger to a bit of controversy. That's me. Anyway, get yourselves out and enjoy nature, but don't disturb it. There's no need to. Reptiles are fascinating animals and provide you with hours and hours of entertainment, if they're left undisturbed. Believe me, adders are not the problem in the countryside. It's the people who visited. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.